everybody. I just want to say thank you so much for checking out my blog. You never think that anybody actually ever will, and it always surprises me. I just want to thank you again for just your kindness to me and your encouragement and your prayers. It continues to mean so much to me. Happy Christmas. I hope you had a wonderful time with your families, and it's New Year's almost, one day away. Crazy. And as we approach New Year's, it is tradition at this time of year to sort of look back on the year that we leave behind. And I was just kind of thinking about my last year and all that's been happening in my life. And, something that really struck me as I was doing that is that I am so grateful for what has happened in my life and where God's brought me. But even as I was thinking that, I was feeling such a deep grief for the things that I have lost through my head injury in the last year, the things that I haven't been able to do, the normal things. And even though I am so glad, the lessons that I've learned are far outweighs the thing that I've lost. I do feel a real sense of still having lost and just feeling like, man, like I really, letting go is really hard. And as I was kind of reflecting on that, I just thought that that's so often the case in life is that, we want to be set apart and we appreciate the process of being set apart, of changing and of becoming different. But it's hard to let go of the things that we know for the things that we don't. Even if we know that we want the process, we want the change to take place, and we know we want something more in our lives, we are comfortable in the old things. And so it's really hard to let go. The future desire, though it may be, is still an unknown. And therefore it's hard to not feel sad at this loss. And I was thinking about, just at New Year's, how often we come up with resolutions and we want to be different people. I mean, I think we all have things at all times that we want to work on and that we want to change. And yet I think one of the biggest things that keeps us from becoming the people that we want to be is that although we long for more, we are afraid because it's unknown. And at least in the future that we have, we find a comfort. And there are things we're afraid to lose what we have. And there's a great quote about that. He who gives up what he cannot keep for that which he cannot lose is no fool, and that just keeps coming into my head. And, the other thing that keeps popping in my head is C.S. Lewis. And C.S. Lewis says, there are better things ahead than any we leave behind. And so as I'm looking back at my own life and marking, the things that I've left behind, and I'm just seeing more and more what God has done. And so as we approach the new year, I just really wanted to encourage you, if there are things that need to change in your life, if there are habits or addiction or maybe just you want to be a new kind of person. Maybe there's things from your childhood that you want to leave behind. Maybe there are habits in your life that don't make you happy, that don't bring people around you glory. Maybe it's just stopping at people, whatever it is. We so often think that they are hard, and that it's impossible to change them. But I have really good news for you if that's kind of where you are. God says in Isaiah 43, one of my favorite Bible verses, he says, remember not the former things, nor consider the things of old. Behold, I am doing a new thing. Now it springs forth. Do you not perceive it? I'll make a way in the wilderness and rivers in the desert. And I think that as we move forward in our life, I think it's so cool that he starts off with, I want to do a new thing. But before he says, I want to do a new thing in you, he commands us, remember not the former things. And I think that he's not saying, hey, just forget it completely, forget your history book and just make the same mistakes. No, that's not what that's about there. It's like, hey, I want you to let go. I want you to let go of the things. I want you to, whatever that process looks like for you, and today, if there are things in your life that you want to change, but there are things that are holding you back from your past. I think it's a really great time to say, no, I want to let go, to not remember the former things anymore, to get counseling, to allow the things of the past to no longer have a hold in our lives, whether that's a lack of forgiveness or whatever it happens to be. So God makes that commandment before he says, he says, like, stop thinking about those things that you're comfortable in and trust me. He says, behold, I'm doing a new thing. Do you not perceive it? I will make a way through your wilderness. And if you find yourself in a place where you feel stuck, where you're in the wilderness, God wants to make a way for you out of that wilderness. But sometimes it means letting go of the things of the past in order to do that. And that's hard because we want to hold on to them, just like I was saying, because that's the comfortable place for us. I also know that one of the things that holds us back from doing that and from letting go of the past is feeling like, how could I possibly change? It's the same old me. I'm going to make the same old habits. But what's really cool is, like, if you haven't heard that word before, when Christ came, he made us, when you say, yeah, I want to follow you, he says, I'm going to make you a new creation. In Ezekiel, it actually says, not only does God say, it's not like a hey, I'm going to make you a new creation. It's like, no, you're a new thing now, and you're no longer a sinner. You're that sometimes acts like a saint. You're a saint that sometimes still sins. And he actually says in Ezekiel 36:26, and I will give you a new heart and a new spirit that I will put within you, and I will remove the heart of stone from your flesh and give you a heart of flesh. And I will put my spirit within you and cause you to walk in my ways. And I just find that that's so hopeful. I remember right when all this head injury stuff happened, I was going through a really tough time in my own life, and I just felt like I had such a hard heart, and I didn't know how to soften that heart. And I just started really asking God for help. And this was the word that came to me. It came, I will give you a new heart and a new spirit I will put within you. And I was like, how is God ever going to do that? And yet when I look back on my life for the last 2 years, God did it, and he did it in a radical way. And it wasn't an easy way. Let me just be really straightforward with you. It wasn't a bed of roses. This head injury thing is not something that I hoped for or that I wanted. And even though I'm so grateful for it and the things that have come out of it are so amazing, it has been a long, hard journey. And sometimes, I'm not going to lie to you, the journey to change is hard and it's painful. But the fruit in our lives is so much more beautiful than anything I can ask or imagine. I can't explain to you what it feels like to wake up now with absolute freedom in my life, and to know that although I'm not perfect, I'm in the process. God is doing a good thing, a good work in me, and he's doing good work in you that he wants to carry out until the day of completion. And so the last thing I just kind of want to leave you with is that in Hebrews 14 or Hebrew 4:16, it says, let us therefore draw near with boldness unto the throne of grace, that we may receive mercy and may find grace to help us in our time of need. If you are in need of a change in your life this coming season, I just want you to not give up hope, and I want you to commit yourself to asking God. I want you to commit yourself to just consider joining with me in approaching his throne of grace with boldness and asking him for a change, and asking him, and just recognizing, though it's not easy, what the freedom that you can experience is so far outweighs the pain in the process. It's beyond anything you can ask or imagine. So blessings, and I hope you have a really happy new year. And if you want to talk about the things that you are wanting to change in this new year, the things that you want to be new in, or your resolutions, I'd love to hear about it. You can connect with me. So yeah, take care. Happy holidays. Bye.